Hey, check out this mountain bike. It's a slack 160mm front travel and 150mm rear travel mountain bike from Mondraker. It looks like a very fun and aggressive analog mountain bike. But what if I told you that this bike has a motor? Hard to believe, right? At passing glance, you'd think this was a normal mountain bike, but it's not. This is the Mondraker Neat. It's one of a crop of lightweight e-mountain bikes hitting the market. These bikes use smaller motors and batteries to keep the weight down. Light MTBs bridge the gap between naturally aspirated human-powered bicycles and the conveyor belt feeling of a full-power e-bike.
Come on! Oh. Holy shit! Oh my god, that's eco! Oh, I'm slipping my tire.
For some, a full-power e-bike is just overkill, defeating the point of riding a bike. In my mind, there are two downsides to full-power e-mountain bikes. The first issue is that they are very heavy, typically coming in between 50 and 60 pounds. I don't care what anybody says, and there are a lot of people out there that will tell you this, that full-power e-bikes ride just like standard mountain bikes. And I'm here to tell you that they don't. If your riding style is anything other than plowing, the extra weight is noticeable. Secondly, the power on offer is often too excessive and compares little to the feel of a normal mountain bike.
Let's go this way. Ooh.
For many people, it makes the process too easy.
That made short work of that.
But if that's what you want, more power to you. No pun intended. This SL class of e-mountain bikes offers a somewhat different experience. A more natural feeling mountain bike experience with the ability to go longer than you would with a standard mountain bike.
You still gotta work for this.
I got to spend some time on the Neat and I found that to be my experience. So let's take a closer look at it. This is Mondraker's all-mountain SL e-bike. The brand is regarded by many as the originator of the long, low, and slack mountain bike geometry that we all know today. And the Neat is no exception. With a 64.5-degree head angle and a long 470mm of reach on the size medium I tested, this bike is ready for anything when put into capable hands. The version I tested is the Neat R, which is the least expensive version of the bike. It comes with a carbon frame and mid-level components, like Fox Performance Level suspension, SRAM G2 brakes, and then SRAM NX GX Eagle drivetrain, components you'll find spec'd on many bikes in this category. However, the superstar of this bike is the motor system. It's not a name you've likely heard of. It's the TQ HPR50, a tiny 300-watt motor producing 50 Nm of torque. It's got a small removable battery to keep the weight down. And if you're worried about range, Mondraker sells a range extender that attaches via a fidlock attachment onto the frame. We'll talk about the range later in the video. With all of these innovations, the Neat comes in at an ultra-lightweight 41.7 pounds. That's a good 10 to 20 pounds lighter than the average full-power e-MTB. If you had no power, you could certainly pedal this bike around without much effort. On the trail, the first thing I noticed was the sound. It was virtually non-existent. I could actually hear the motors of the other e-bikes that were around me. That was a nice surprise. There are 3 levels of assistance with the TQ motor: Eco, Mid, and High. I tried the different modes at various points during the ride. The assistance comes on subtly. It gives you just enough power to enhance the power that you put in through the pedals while maintaining the feel of a non-powered bike. The mid setting was what I would call the sweet spot. In the high power mode, the assist is most pronounced, but the power is still smooth and comes on naturally. It's enough to get you up most any climb without much trouble. That is provided you have the skills and the tire set up properly. And that's the whole point of a bike like the Mondraker Neat. It still gives you the feel and the nimbleness of a standard non-powered mountain bike, but you will fatigue less. If you ran out of power on this bike, it will still feel like a mountain bike. On a heavy full-powered e-mountain bike, losing power would make it feel like a Harley-Davidson without any gas.
Oh, come on. What the fuck just happened? Oh, no. Oh, fuck.
If you pulled the battery, this bike would weigh close to the weight of the average enduro bike these days. But it'll be a while before you run the battery down. Over the course of a 15-mile lunch ride using all modes equally, I barely used any battery life. I have to admit I like this bike. It fits in a very clear middle ground between full e-bike and natural bike. The one question, however, I struggle with is who this bike would be for. After spending some time with it, I feel like there are a few people that would appreciate this bike. If you are someone that lives in a place where e-bikes are prevalent, but you aren't ready to give up the challenge of pedaling, but you need to be able to keep up with your friends who are on e-bikes, this might be the bike for you. The other person is someone that likes the idea of an e-bike in order to make the climbs easy, but doesn't like the idea of a big, heavy, cumbersome bike on the descent. This is the category I think I would fall into. The third person, and maybe I shouldn't even talk about it, is the person that wants a sleeper bike. You can't tell this is an e-bike without looking closely at it. I won't say any more. And for all these people, the near silence of the motor lets you enjoy the sounds of nature instead of the whir of an electric motor. In the end, if you want the natural feel of a mountain bike with a little bit of help, the Mondraker Neat might be for you. Are there people out there besides me that appreciate this type of bike? Let me know in the comments. Mondraker bikes are not cheap. Prices range from $8,000 for the Neat R that I rode, up to $11,500 for the top spec RR SL. Bikes Online, who loaned me the Neat R for the test, has it on sale right now at a pretty good markdown. I'll leave a link to the bike in the description if you want to learn more. If you want me to spend more time on this bike, let me know in the comments. Maybe I can convince them to let me test it over the course of a few months. I hope you enjoyed this review, and if you did, please like, share, and subscribe. And I hope you enjoyed this leg of my journey. Thanks for watching.
Excuse me. Have a good hike.